Holy Spirit. Happy Father's Day, everyone. And I know this national observance is not on any of our ecclesiastical calendars, but nevertheless I feel compelled today to speak not so much on the role of father, even though it's an important one, but rather understanding our fathers. And I say that because my pastoral sense tells me that fathers in general are in need of an image boost. Even today's gospel lesson, it's funny almost. You know, you have a father, Zebedee. He's working with his two sons in the boat, mending the nets, and then Jesus comes, whom they only met once or twice, and he says two words basically, akoluthimi, follow me, and they drop their nets, leave the boat, and leave old Zebedee, their father, by himself. And this is the gospel lesson for today. It's just ironic. I realize it's a higher calling that the apostles had, the first disciples, but I don't know, it's just funny that this is the gospel lesson on Father's Day. They leave their father behind. It's typical. Let's face it, gentlemen, we are the forgotten parent. We are the other parent. Our day, Father's Day, does not carry with it the same hype and the same esteem and the same sentimentality as Mother's Day. Now, I'm not complaining, just so you know. But I have the sense that there's a certain reputation with our brand as fathers, that we are sullen and moody and preoccupied. And I suppose there is some justification for this, for these characteristics. I remember in my youth looking at my own father and my friends' fathers in the neighborhood. They were all definitely had an air of distance about them. There was a coldness. I don't know, I couldn't understand why they were like that. And I was thinking, if I'm a father, I'll be enjoying my kids and engaging them and having fun with them and all these things. And I really thought that. A couple of months ago, I was watching some home videos with my family and I, Gabby, William, Presbytera, and myself. Daniela had not yet visited us, although she surprised me yesterday. I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. She showed up on my doorstep. Anyway, we were watching this video, and it was Christmas morning. The kids were about 4, 5, 6 years old at the time. They were all engaged. Presbytera was there, the gifts were opening, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of movement, everybody enjoying themselves. And then there was me. In the corner, no expression, no words, no emotion, nothing. And I was looking at this, I couldn't believe it. I became what I accused my friends' fathers of. That stone-cold, distant guy. There was only one tender moment that I saw that day. The family dog, I guess he felt sorry for me or something. He came up to me and wagging his tail, and he starts licking me, and I'm embracing him, and I'm petting him, and the kids are all somewhere else, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. I could not believe that was me. And so I've dedicated the rest of this sermon to trying to figure out where I was. So I've entitled today's sermon, Finding Our Fathers. Finding Our Fathers. Where are we when we are there, but we're not there? I have a couple of theories that I'd like to share with you today. Besides, thinking about the glories of the past, our young and strong days, or our sins that we cringe at, besides that, I want to talk to you about fathers and what they may be thinking. One place they may be is back at work. The Lord in the Garden of Eden, at the fall of man, pronounced the consequences for each individual's offense. To the devil, to the woman, Eve, and to the man, Adam. To Adam, he said, basically, you will have to work all your life until you go back to the soil from which you came. And by the way, you will have to toil by the sweat of your brow. Your work will not come easy. Now, because a man is tied up with his work, it almost identifies him, and he is also tied up to being a provider, he worries about work. He worries about the pressure to be productive. He worries about keeping his work. He worries about difficult people at work. And it's not always easy to just turn that off when you come home. You very well may find our fathers unresponsive and mentally exhausted. In fact, there's a real possibility for some displaced anger especially if you're demanding his attention too soon. A man needs a distraction when he gets home. There needs to be a time and a space for him to unwind things. A distraction, TV, music, whatever mindless distraction there is, the computer, a video game, whatever. When that time to unwind is interrupted, don't be surprised if he's short with you and emotionally not there. It's just a matter of discerning his time. A simple question like, Dad, is this a good time, would do wonders. Here's another consideration. A man, a father, is also wired to be a protector. Even if there's no clear and present danger, the heart of a father is still seeking to protect his young from unseen enemies or possible enemies in the future. For example, having his children emotionally prepared for the challenges of adulthood. He's thinking about that as well. And here's what I mean. There is no question that I wanted my kids to have a good childhood, a fun childhood, happy memories. I wanted that for them, no question. However, I felt I had to balance that by providing them with some limits and boundaries. And so I felt that my kids had to hear the word no every now and then. Even if I felt that way or not, I would just say, no, not your time. I did this in order to prepare them for the cruelties and disappointments of this fallen world. However, when I said no to my children, I guess just like any child, they're not happy with that. And at least one time, I paid the price for it. Presbytera and I, along with all the kids, when they were little, going to Disney World, and I was watching everything. There was a crowd going by, and there was this one group of people with a person in the middle of that group that I recognized. And I said, oh my gosh, that's Mariano Rivera. And so I told Presbytera, Mary, that's Mariano Rivera. And she said, "Who's Mariano Rivera?" I go, "What do you mean, who's Mariano Rivera? Closer for the New York Yankees, Hall of Fame, unanimous vote, first round, that's never happened before. Mariano Rivera, the closer for the Yankees, that's him. I want a picture with him and the kids." She said, "Okay." So she goes up to the group kind of stops her and said, "He's on vacation." And she says, "That's nice. Mariano, would you please take a picture with my kids and Father Paul here?" And he was so gracious. He said, "Oh, sure, of course." He smiled. The only problem, as we were about to get ready for the pose, was that moments before, William asked for a Pluto doll. And I said, "No, you got enough. You don't need it. No." And so William was not happy with me. And I have physical evidence to show that. We took the picture. I said, "William, please smile. Please, I'll give you 1,000,000 Pluto dolls." And here is the picture. Chris? So I'm smiling, Mariano's smiling, Gabby's smiling, and then there's William. Okay, but Presbytera has a way of fixing pictures like this. Chris, next slide there. No mutra. We just took William right out of the picture there. So let me conclude with one final thought. In our journey to finding our fathers, one final thought is the family system, the way the family relates to each other. Each, in my old-fashioned ways, each has a role to play. If that system has somehow taken father out of his role as the head of the family, as the icon of Christ in the family, then family harmony and family unity will suffer. The family will not be what it could be. Because a father who loses that place, that honored place, whether it's his fault or not, may begin to do one of two things. Either he will become aggressive and abusive in order to recapture that psilithesi, that high place, or he may just shut down altogether and just say, "What good is it? What's the use?" Finding our fathers, my friends, we are complicated. I realize that. We are not as communicative and expressive as our female counterparts, and we may not be given to all the emotionalism of our counterparts, but believe me, there is emotion going on. Emotion that you may never understand, and even the Father himself might not even understand. But you don't have to understand. Just accept it and respect it. Respect that there are feelings, legitimate feelings for the good that he has and that he has to deal with. Show him honor. Value his words, not just for a day. Allow him his place in the home and in your heart, and you will find your father. Now, by the way, just to show you that William and I are best buddies now, he is recovered from his Pluto deprivation, and here's proof. Do you have that, Chris? There he is. I love Daddy. So, happy Father's Day to you all. God bless you, my friends. Amen.